So for thousands of years there's been shepherds on the hill here, and they worked very long hours. They were out early in the morning until late at night, and during lambing they were literally sleeping with the, with the animals, with the ewes, to check that everything was okay. But because the pace of that was tied to a different thing, the pace and the rhythms of those things were tied to natural cycles that we've evolved alongside of for a very long time. And the change when we started to, it's like when the Industrial Revolution, we started working with machinery. It works to its own rhythm. It's not a natural rhythm. It's like a clock.
Yeah.
It's like when we punch in and out at work via a clock, and that strapping ourselves to, we're bound to wear ourselves out.
And if you're looking after animals, there's no time clock to follow, is there? There's just a natural.
It's their own thing. I was thinking, like with machinery, the fan belt wears out. The things, the bits wear out. Machines set off at a pace where they're going to destroy themselves, and you have to keep replacing the parts. But you can't do that with a human. And we try and strap ourselves alongside a machine or interface with a machine where we can't replace our parts.
No.
And now we
wear out.
We just wear out, and you wear yourself out trying to keep in step with that rhythm, of that ceaseless rhythm. At least with this, like with the natural world, the pace, it's not continuous. You get, like with lambing, you get a period of really intense activity, and then afterwards you get a relaxation of it. You get ebbs and flows.
I think there's no threat of losing your job if you, I think today everyone's very worried about losing their job and then therefore not having enough money to pay the bills and all the rest of it, aren't they? But in those days you knew your job, and I can imagine you just went to go and get it. There was no sort of pressure. I know there probably was a little bit of pressure, but not the pressure of someone turning around to you and saying, right, okay, no, that's it, you're late, don't come back tomorrow. I don't know, maybe there was.
Yeah, I think there probably was. I think
it's just different pressure, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, well, our expectations are much higher about what we will have. I think then it was worried about those same things, worried about roof overhead, food on the table. But then I think largely we limited our expectations at that. Am I safe and warm? Have I got a full tummy? Have I got something to go and do tomorrow? Now, on top of that, we worry about, can we afford a new computer, a new holiday, a new car, can I move to a bigger house? All of those things add extra pressure on top of those basic ones, don't they? And so they make that worry over, if I lose my income, not only are you worried that if you were only worried about tomorrow, can I feed the kids if I lose my job, you'd probably think, yeah, well, I could probably find a way to do that. I don't know quite how I'd do it, but I'd find a way to do it. But when you add on, how am I going to keep up the repayments for this, the repayments for that, the repayments for this?
They didn't have all that, did they?
You add on a huge extra load of expectation.
I mean, that is apparent, and that's quite a natural thing, isn't it? It's apparent through the lockdown thing that all the old, like darning socks and doing things, repairing things, is becoming more prevalent now, isn't it? Because there's no shops to go and buy another pair of socks.
No,
you have to mend some socks, which is what they used to do, isn't it? All the time. That was their way of life. And now that's what people are having to do. And that's what, when there wasn't any entertainment, like in lockdown, people didn't have any entertainments. They started singing to each other.
Yeah, and it's like the home baking as well.
Yeah,
I think that the two most basic things you do are turn to making bread and singing to each other. It couldn't get more primordial than that.
And what an amazing thing this has been, because someone just turned off that industrial switch, didn't they?
Yeah.
And said, right, there you go, pause. Then let's see what happens. And what a horrible thing that happened, but what an amazing thing that happened as well. Because if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have seen this. We wouldn't have the silence that we've got here.
Well, for all those people who've been horribly affected by it, the very least we could do is learn from the opportunity and use that to reflect how we go forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
the very least they
Let's
deserve.
change it for the better, so that we have better lives, purer lives, so the planet survives a little bit longer.
I think just so we stop. That's what I was saying. It's that we're strapped to that, or tie ourselves to those mechanised or computerised rhythms of things. And I think for me, having had a lot less of that, not none of it, but a lot less of it, and the opportunity to spend more time thinking about the other rhythms that are there, those rhythms underneath, the slower rhythms, the more natural rhythms of things, which is why I think we go back to bread making and to singing, because we're satisfying some synchronising with those things. Am I hungry? Am I not hungry? Not I've got to eat at this. I've got my lunch breaks from 12 till 20 past 12. Am I hungry? I'm missing human contact. What's the way I want to share that? I want to sing with people. Those very basic things.
Producing something yourself. So rather than running to the shop and buying a loaf of bread, which takes 2 seconds, and then eating it, to make a loaf could take you all day if you're into the sourdough thing. So you're creating this thing out of flour and water, then you enjoy that a little bit more, don't you? So when you slice into your nicely baked bread, like with the singing, rather than just turning on the radio, which takes 2 seconds, let's have a little think about it. Let's think about the way we're feeling and let's sing. Entertain ourselves.
Yeah, because we can.
Yeah,
that idea that we can't, I don't think is right. We can. It's inbuilt. We did it for so long, for so many countless generations.
So it's still in there, isn't it?
Still. That's interesting. That's what this shows, isn't it?
Yeah.
That all you do is break the frame around people's modern view, the lens that they look through at their life. You break that, or you take that away for a while, and all of a sudden it looks different. All of a sudden you see beyond that to what's there, and you think, why do I spend all my life running around trying to make the money to buy sliced bread when I can make
do it
some
myself?
bread? I can make some bread and
it's
get
better,
a lot more out of that. Better food and better for me doing that. We're very lucky to have this on our doorstep, aren't we?
Stunning.
Maybe that's why people worried about things a little bit less. I think if you got yourself in a bit of a dither, you could walk out and come and do this, and
definitely calms you down. I get this sense when I'm down by the sea as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that sort of.
That's how wonderfully lucky we are here that we get both of those things together. Shall we trot on and find another place to sit?
Yep, very nice.